What's going on, guys? This is Chris from the Boys Podcast, and today I'm talking about a hidden gem on the original Xbox. And if you're a big wrestling fan, you probably played this game, and I'm talking about Raw 2. Alright, guys, we were always a little late getting our new consoles, and we were about a year and a half at the time before we got our Xbox. And back in the day, there was something called layaway, and I don't know if the state still has layaway, but in Canada, that's been dead and gone for decades. Well, my dad ended up putting the Xbox on layaway, and it took him a year to pay it off, but on my birthday the following year, we finally got our Xbox. And it wasn't just my Xbox, it was the family's Xbox. But I was able to pick one game for my birthday, and I ended up choosing the original Raw game. The original Raw game now is not the best game, but at the time, as a big wrestling fan, it was a definite pick for me. And the original Raw game was very slow, very clunky. The entrances weren't that nice. The graphics were okay. But for the summer, it was a must-have for gaming. And if it wasn't us system linking, Halo and Halo 2, we were gaming Raw with all our friends coming over, and we'd be having, Royal Rumble matches, Fatal 4-Way matches, cage matches, and ladder matches. And holy fuck, would it take forever for someone to win a damn ladder match. It took fucking 3 days to climb the thing. But we were able to go to Blockbuster because we were always a little late getting our console, and we ended up picking Raw 2 up for $14.99, and this game was such an improvement from the original Raw game. And at the time, PlayStation had the SmackDown games, which were incredible. Day of Reckoning was on the GameCube, which was great as well. But we had Raw, and Raw 2 was really good. And we were coming from the N64, my family, so we were playing WCW Revenge to No Mercy to WrestleMania 2000 to Raw, and then Raw 2. So it was a big step up. And Raw 2 and Raw had that feel like those N64 wrestling games, which was great. But the only thing Raw 2 didn't have was a story mode like SmackDown and Day of Reckoning. But in this story mode was cool because Raw 2 had a great creative character, and you could put your character in the story mode, or you could pick an established superstar to play in the story mode. And what made the story mode fun was you could play co-op. So me and my brother would go through the story mode, and you could call people out, you could set traps, you could steal items from people's bags. And I'm not gonna lie, I stole a lot of women's entrance videos, and I got off to them as well. Hey, I was a young kid and I had an Xbox and a TV in my room. What else was I supposed to do? But I also used to use those entrance videos I stole as a Titantron for my wrestling toys. So I wasn't that much of a sick freak, but I was a sick freak. But getting back to Raw 2, popularity would be a lot too. So if you're more popular, if you called out a superstar, you might get a title match. So that was great. And even in the story mode, when you're playing co-op, you might be able to get into a tag match with the person you're playing, which was awesome. Or you would have to face them, which would suck. But I remember a funny memory. I was going through the story mode with my brother as Kevin Nash, and I ended up winning the world title. I was so happy. And then the next night, I was booked against Trish Stratus in the main event of Raw, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be butter. I'm gonna fucking jackknife powerbomb Trish Stratus. It's over. And she ended up whooping my fucking ass and winning the title, and I was fucking crying and shit and throwing the controller. I was so upset. But what made Raw 2 for me so fantastic was, like I said, coming from WCW Revenge and No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000, all those N64 games, because we didn't have a PlayStation. This was the first game that we incorporated WCW characters, those big stars you wanted, into a wrestling game, and we were able to finally have Goldberg versus Stone Cold, Goldberg versus The Undertaker. Just cool matchups. And in this game, the entrances were so much improved. And oh man, I used to just play as Hollywood Rock all the time.
On the way to the ring, from Miami, Florida, weighing in at 275 pounds, The Rock!
one of my favorite entrance theme songs and one of my favorite heel characters, Hollywood Rock, one of the best of all time. But guys, I want to know, what was your hidden gem wrestling game you found? And if it was Raw 2, who was your favorite character you played as? I want you to comment below your favorite wrestling game. I'd love to hear about it. And would you like to see Raw make a comeback to the Xbox? I know the 2K25 game looks fucking unreal, fantastic, so realistic, but would you like the nostalgic memory of playing a Raw game on the Xbox? I would love to hear it. And guys, like always, I will see you next week for another episode.